There are 3 raps on the door to the right.
Elis, think of us all.
I do, Mother.
Mrs. Heyst opens the door to the right. Lindkvist enters, and Mrs. Heyst goes out. He is an elderly man of serious, almost tragic aspect, with black bushy eyebrows, round black-rimmed eyeglasses. He carries a stout stick in his hand. He is dressed in black with fur coat, and over his shoes wears galoshes that squeak. After looking at Elis,
My name is Lindkvist.
reserved,
Heyst is my name. Won't you sit down?
Lindkvist sits in a chair to the right of the sewing table, looks at Elis with a stern eye. After a pause,
How can I be of service?
with good humor,
Last evening I had the honor to notify you of my intended visit, but thinking it over and realizing that it was a holy evening, I refrained from coming then, as my visit is not of a social nature, and I don't talk business on a holy evening.
We are very grateful.
We are not grateful.
a pause.
However, day before yesterday, I made a casual call on the governor.
He stops to notice how Elis takes it.
Do you know the governor?
Carelessly,
I haven't had that honor.
Then you shall have that honor. We spoke about your father.
No doubt.
Lindkvist takes out a paper and lays it down on the table.
I got this paper from him, from the governor.
I've been expecting this for some time. But before you go any further, allow me to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Why don't you put that warrant in the hands of the executioners so we could escape this long and painful business?
So, my young man.
Young or not, I ask no mercy, only justice.
Well, no mercy. No mercy, eh? Do you see this paper that I put here on the corner of the table?
Yes.
Ah. Now I put it back again.
He puts it back in his pocket.
Well then, justice. Only justice. Listen, my young friend. Once upon a time, I was deprived of my money, and in a disagreeable manner. When I wrote you a courteous letter asking how much time you needed, you saw fit to answer with an uncourteous note, and treated me as if I were a usurer, a plunderer of widows and children, although I was really the one plundered, and you belonged to the plunderer's party. But as I was more judicious, I contented myself with answering your note courteously, but to the point. You know my blue paper, eh? I see you do. And I can put seals on, too, if I choose. But I don't. Not yet.
Lindkvist looks around the room.
As you please. The things are at your disposal.
I wasn't looking at the furniture. I looked to see if your mother was in the room. She, no doubt, loves justice as much as you do.
Let us hope so.
Good. Do you know that if justice, which you value so highly, had its course, your mother, who only knew of your father's criminal act, could have been imprisoned?
No.
Yes. And it isn't too late, even now.
Elis rises.
My mother!
Lindkvist takes out another paper, also blue, and places it on the table.
See? Now I put down another paper. And it's blue, too. But as yet, no seals.
Oh, God! My mother! As ye sow, so shall ye reap.
Yes, my young lover of justice. As ye sow, so shall ye reap. That's the way it goes. Now, if I should put this question to myself, you, Joseph Lindkvist, born in poverty and brought up in denial and work, have you the right at your age to deprive yourself and children, mark you, your children, of the support which you, through industry, economy, and denial, mark you, denial, saved penny by penny? What will you do, Joseph Lindkvist, if you want justice? You plundered no one. But if you resent being plundered, then you cannot stay in this town, as no one would speak to the terrible creature who wants his own hard-earned money returned. So you see, there exists a grace which is finer than justice, and that is mercy.
You are right. Take everything. It belongs to you.
I have right on my side, but I dare not use it.
I shall think of your children and not complain.
Good. Then I'll put my blue paper away again. And now we'll go a step further.
Pardon me, but do they intend to accuse my mother?
We will go a step further first. I take it that you don't know the governor personally?
No, and I don't want to know him.
Lindkvist takes out paper again and shakes it warningly at Elis.
Don't say that. The governor and your father were friends in their youth, and he wishes to see and know you. You see, as you sow, and so forth, in everything. Won't you go and see him?
No.
But the governor...
Let us change the subject.
You must speak courteously to me, as I am defenseless. You have public opinion on your side, and I have only justice on mine. What have you got against the governor? He doesn't like this and that, what some people would call pleasure, but that belongs to his eccentricities, and we needn't exactly respect his eccentricities, but we can overlook them and hold to fundamental facts as human beings. And in the crisis of human life, we must swallow each other skin and hair, as the saying goes. But will you go to see the governor?
Never.
Are you that sort of creature?
Yes.
Lindkvist rises, walks about, waving his paper.
That's too bad. Too bad. Well, then, I must start from the other end. A revengeful person has threatened to take legal steps against your mother.
What do you say?
Go to see the governor.
No.
Lindkvist takes Elis by the shoulders.
Then you are the most miserable being that I have ever met in all my experience. And now, I shall go and see your mother.
No, don't go to her.
Will you go to see the governor then?
Yes.
Tell me again, and louder.
Yes.
He gives Elis the blue paper.
Then that matter is over with. And there is an end to that paper, and an end to your troubles on that score.
Elis takes the paper without looking at it.
Then we have number 2. That was number 1. Let us sit down.
They sit as before.
You see, if we only meet each other halfway, it will be so much shorter. Number 2. That is my claim on your home. No illusions, as I cannot and will not give away my family's common property. I must have what is owing to me, to the last penny.
I understand.
So, you understand that?
I didn't mean to offend you.
No, I gather as much.
He lifts his glasses and looks at Elis.
The wolf, the angry wolf, eh? The rod, the giant of the mountains, who does not eat children, only scares them, eh? and I shall scare you. Yes, out of your senses. Every piece of furniture must come out, and I have the warrant in my pocket. And if it isn't enough, you'll go to jail, where neither sun nor stars shine. Yes, I can eat children and widows when I am irritated. As for public opinion, bah, I'll let that go hang. I have only to move to another city.
Elis is silent.
You had a friend who is called Peter. He is a debater and was your student in oratory. But you wanted him to be a sort of prophet. Well, he was faithless. He crowed twice, didn't he?
Elis is silent.
Human nature is as uncertain as things and thought. Peter was faithless, I don't deny it, and I won't defend him in that. But the heart of mankind is fathomless, and there is always some gold to be found. Peter was a faithless friend, but a friend nevertheless.
A faithless.
Faithless, yes, but a friend, as I said. This faithless friend has unwittingly done you a great service.
Sneeringly,
Even that.
Lindkvist moves nearer to Elis.
As ye sow, so shall ye reap.
It's not true of evil.
It's true of everything in life. Do you believe me?
I must, or else you will torture the life out of me.
Not your life, but pride and malice I will squeeze out of you.
But to continue,
Peter has done you a service, I said.
I want no services from him.
Are you here there again? Then listen. Through your friend Peter's intervention, the governor was able to protect your mother. Therefore, you must write and thank Peter. Promise me that.
Any other man in the world, but not him.
Nearer to Elis.
Then I must squeeze you again. How much money have you in the bank?
What has that got to do with it? I cannot be responsible for my father's debts.
Oh, indeed. Weren't you among those who ate and drank while my children's money was spent in this house? Answer.
I can't deny it.
Well then, you must sit down immediately and write a check for the balance. You know the sum?
As in a dream.
Even that?
Yes, even that. Be good enough to make it out now.
Elis rises and takes out the checkbook and pen.
Make it on yourself or an order.
Even then it won't be enough.
Then you must go out and borrow the rest. Every penny must be paid.
Elis is handing a check to Lindkvist.
There. Everything I have. That is my summer and my bride. I haven't anything else to give you.
Then you must go out and borrow, as I said.
I can't do it.
Then you must get security.
No one would give security to a Heyst.
So, then I'll propose an alternative. Thank Peter, or you will have to come up with the whole sum.
I won't have anything to do with Peter.
Then you are the most miserable creature that I have ever known. You can, by simple courtesy, save your mother's dwelling and your fiancé's happiness, and you won't do it. There must be some motive that you won't come out with. Why do you hate Peter?
Put me to death, but don't torture me any longer.
Are you jealous of him?
Elis shrugs his shoulders.
So, that's the way things stand.
Lindkvist rises and walks up and down.
Did you read the evening paper?
Yes, more is the pity.
All of it?
No, not all.
No? Then you didn't read of Peter's engagement?
No, that I did not know about.
And to whom, do you think?
To whom?
Why, he is engaged to Miss Alice, and it was made known at a certain recital where your fiancé helped spread the glad news.
Why should it have been such a secret?
Haven't two young people the right to keep their hearts' secrets from you?
And on account of their happiness, I had to suffer this agony.
Yes, just as others have suffered for your happiness, your mother, your father, your fiancé, your sister, your friends. Sit down, and I'll tell you a little story.
Elis stints against his will through the scene and the following. It is clearing outside.
It's about 40 years since I came to this town. As a boy, you understand? Alone. Unknown. Without even one acquaintance. To seek a position. All I owned was $1 silver. The night I arrived was a dark and rainy one. As I didn't know of any cheap hotel, I asked the passers-by about one, but no one stopped to answer. Took me for a beggar, most likely. When I was at the height of my despair, a young man came up and asked me why I was crying. Evidently, I was crying. I told him my need, and he turned from his course and took me to a hotel and comforted me with friendly words. As I entered the hotel, the glass door of the store next door was thrown open and hit my elbow and was smashed to pieces. The furious owner of the store grabbed me and insisted that I should pay for it, or else he would call the police. Can you imagine my despair? The kindly intentioned unknown man who was a witness of the affair protested and went to the trouble of calling the police himself, explained, and saved me from a night in the street. This man was your father. So you see, as you sow, so shall ye reap. And for your father's sake, I have foregone what is owed me. Therefore, take this paper and keep your check.
He rises.
And as you find it hard to say thanks, I'll go immediately, and especially as I find it painful to be thanked.
He goes to the door in the back.
Go to your mother as soon as your feet can carry you and relieve her of her worries.
Elis starts to thank Lindkvist, but Lindkvist makes a gesture toward the right.
Go.
Elis hastens out to the right. The center door opens, and Eleanora and Benjamin enter. On seeing Lindkvist, she shows extreme fear.
Well, little one, step in and have no fear. Do you know who I am?
In a blustering voice.
I am the giant of the mountains. Ma, ma, ma. And yet, I am not dangerous. Come here, Eleanora.
She goes to him, and he takes her head in his hand and looks into her eyes.
You have your father's kind eyes. He was a good man, but he was weak.
Kissing her forehead.
There.
You speak well of my father? Can it be anyone wishes him well?
I can. Ask your brother Elis.
Then you don't want to harm us?
No, my dear child.
Well, help us then.
Child, I can't help your father in his sentence. I can't help Benjamin in his Latin. But everything else is helped already. Life doesn't give everything, and nothing is given for nothing. Therefore you must help me, will you?
Poor me? What can I do?
What is the date today?
Why, it's the 16th.
Good. Before the 20th, you must have your brother Elis make a call on the governor, and you must get him to write a letter to Peter.
Is that all?
Oh, you dear child. But if he neglects these things, the giant will come again and say, "Murr, murr."
Why should the giant come and scare the children?
So the children will be good.
That's true. The giant is right.
She kisses Lindkvist's coat sleeve.
Thanks, dear giant.
You should say Mr. Giant, I should think.
Well, oh, no. That's not your real name.
Goodbye, children. Now you can throw the rod in the fire.
No, we must keep it. Children are so forgetful.
How well you know children, little one.
He goes out.
We are going to the country, Benjamin. Within 2 months. Oh, if the time would only pass quickly.
She takes the calendar and tears off the pages one by one.
April, May, June, and the sun is shining on them all. Now you must thank God He helped us to the country.
Can I say my thanks in silence?
Yes, you can say it in silence. For now the clouds are gone, and it can be heard up there.
Christine has entered from the left and stopped. Elis and Mrs. Heyst from the right. Christine and Elis start to meet each other with loving smiles. Before they meet, curtain. End of play.